Yes guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are edging closer and closer to signing Amadou Onana. And is he the Thomas Partey replacement? In this video, we're going to compare the two players and understand, are we missing a player like Amadou Onana in the setup? Because we can all agree that Thomas Partey is one of the players we miss at Arsenal. Is Amadou Onana the long-term replacement of Thomas Partey in Mikel Arteta's setup? Now, I want your thoughts in the comment box below. What do you think? Do you think Amadou Onana is actually a good replacement for Thomas Partey? They're both African. I mean, he's Belgian, but when you look at him, you can't really say he's Belgian. They're both very physical, very good in the air. I think they've got a very good tackle in them. But their game is very different to me, and that is why I might not agree that it's going to be the long-term Partey replacement. But at the moment, that is what it looks like. Hit the like button. Let's get this video to 300 likes. I want your thoughts there in the comment box below. Amadou Onana versus Thomas Partey. On which side are you? You can compare anything. You can compare the injury prone nature. You can compare the number of games each one can play. You can compare the quality of each player. You can compare anything. Just talk to me in the comment box below. Now, this is how we set up, and without Declan Rice, definitely it would be Thomas Partey right here in the midfield. The ability of Thomas Partey in this Arsenal team is beyond measurable, quality. He's one of the players that are irreplaceable in our side, and even after Declan Rice playing 8 out of 10 performances for almost half of the campaign, we still miss Thomas Partey. We still miss a player who can switch the play. We still miss a player who can quickly help us transition, help us get the player to Saka and Martinelli in wide areas quicker and even better. So Mikel Arteta is then thinking, how about if we get Amadou Onana and he can do the job right from Everton? And I don't disagree with Mikel. I think Onana has got some elements of the Paul Pogba profile. Let's go slow here. I'm not comparing him to Paul Pogba. He's a genius of a talent on a good day, but I'm saying his profile and Paul Pogba's are not actually very, very different. Actually, Amadou Onana's profile is even better because he can play as a 6, and he can actually thrive in that situation. So at Everton, Amadou Onana is playing in a double pivot alongside James Garner. And he's actually working out very, very well. So we presume, and I presume, that if he comes in at Arsenal, he would actually play in a double pivot alongside Declan Rice. So we would have Declan Rice in midfield alongside Amadou Onana, who I will call shirt number 4 at the moment, although we already have shirt number 4 in Benjamin White. So if you have Amadou Onana alongside Declan Rice, that is a double midfield pivot, and that is a really scary double midfield pivot. That means that you have, huge midfielders in Onana and Declan Rice, but then you also remember we have huge centre backs in William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. That could be the game changer. That could be the last, stroke for me. That could be the last move on the chessboard. If Mikel Arteta gets in Onana, huge, physical, tall. You have Declan Rice, huge, physical, tall, intelligent. And then you have got William Saliba, cool, calm, physical, tall. We might have ourselves a really unbreakable defensive system. So that is one of the things I want Arsenal to sign Onana about. He can bring in the Thomas Partey effect of you don't just score against Arsenal when they have Thomas Partey. He's so good in defensive areas. He's very good in defensive areas. Now, I'm going to say this before we get any further. Amadou Onana's defensive numbers are not as good as the rest of the other defensive players. And although he's playing for a club like Everton and he's taking up those defensive duties, he's not defensively good and astounding as the likes of Manuel Ugarte at PSG, as the likes of Moises Caicedo, as the likes of Declan Rice at Arsenal. Why that is probably because of his profile and what he wants to do as a player. Because listen, when I look at him, I look at him as a box-to-box kind of midfielder. And Sean Dyche, he looks at him as a 6/8. So that means that he is the deepest midfielder when the team is in attack, and he's also the deepest midfielder when the team is defensively trying to win the ball back, right? So that you understand that. But he's not elite as a ball winner. He's young. He can become an elite ball winner later on in his career. At the moment, he is actually not there. And that is number one. You can't replace Thomas Partey in this Arsenal team if you're not an elite ball winner. The thing we get with Thomas Partey, and the advantage we have with Partey, he wins the ball back magnificently, and he makes it look very, very easy. I mean, I had a few conversations with some Arsenal, fans who literally told me, "Oh, Cossy, Partey really doesn't win the ball back. He's very good at ball distribution. He makes it easy. He doesn't pick up yellow cards, and he makes it look like he doesn't win the ball back. He actually does, and that's why he's always in that team as our number 6 and defensive cover for for Xhaka and Odegaard last season, and it was actually working out very well. So Amadou Onana will definitely need to work on his ability to win the ball back. Now, the second thing that Thomas Partey does, and probably Amadou Onana could actually bring at Arsenal, this is the ability for us to play Declan Rice a little bit further forward, and of course Odegaard and all these other players a little bit further forward as well. So he can spray the passes, he can irrigate the front part of the attack, and that is what Thomas Partey does, and that is what Amadou Onana is actually very, very good at. Actually, he's very good at this, better than even Declan Rice. So there is a statistic going around. Declan Rice has made around 689 progressive passes this season, more than any other midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues. That is mad. That is absolutely elite passing. But those 689 passes, progressive, they're getting into the final third, they're actually not as quick as Thomas Partey's passes. They're actually not as penetrating as Iniesta and Xavi passes. So literally it means that he passes the ball forward, he passes the ball into that area, and we actually know why it is easy for him to do that. One, he's got that ability to dribble 1 or 2 yards and then bypass the press and then pass the ball forward. But then also, clubs are actually sitting back and letting Arsenal be on the ball, and to an extent that we can pass the ball even across their across their 16-yard box. But we don't even penetrate. We don't penetrate into those dangerous areas. So Declan Rice, good. He's a good progressive passer, but it's better if Arsenal played him a little bit further forward, and a player like Amadou Onana comes in and does the irrigation, does the switching of play, does the transitional passes, and the key passes as well. So this is why I think he is better than Declan Rice. So you've seen him at Everton. Everton are, you would say, a low block team under Sean Dyche. Like Sean Dyche as a manager, whenever you see him, he's playing a low block. He doesn't care who you are, wherever you are. He's going to play a low block, right? And even if he doesn't play a low block, he doesn't expose his teams to a lot of chances. So let's say this is Everton playing a little bit deep like that, and they're not really very very offensive. The key tool for Everton, and this is very very likely to be Arsenal's future, the key tool for them is their wide players, right? So, and I was very surprised when Demarai Gray actually was left to go when Sean Dyche actually came in. It was maybe because he wanted to go and he wanted to leave, and personal reasons. But for me, if we were Everton, I would be fuming if we had let Demarai Gray go, because you have a manager who plays a defensive shape and he wants to counter-attack a lot. And Demarai Gray, boy oh boy, he is absolutely beautiful at doing that. So with Arsenal, it is Gabriel Martinelli and Saka out wide. Those are our main outlets and main inlets into the offensive areas of the opponent. For Everton, it is Dwight McNeil, who actually came from Burnley, and I think Sean Dyche is happy to reunite with them. He's such a very, very good winger. And then at times, he can play anyone he wants there. At times, James Garner can go onto that side. But now they have, another player, right? I think that's Harris something, right? So those two players are wide players, and they're very quick. So what they need a player who's going to play the ball into them a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. And that is what Amadou Onana has actually done. And that is what he does. And when you look at his game, that is where Arsenal could actually benefit. So if Martinelli and Saka are already out wide, and Gabriel Jesus is a little bit further up the pitch, Declan Rice will not skip Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard in his build-up phase. So he'll pass the ball first to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz will pass it back to Declan Rice, and then Declan Rice will pass it to Martin Odegaard. So Rice is not your risk-taker midfielder. That is not that guy, right? He would rather pass it short. He would rather make it simple and concise, but not risk it. And that is why he's one of the safest players in the world. His midfield play is one of the safest places in the world. But what if we consider this? Partey is different from Declan Rice in this way. So Thomas Partey, if he was on this pitch and he's in possession right here, he doesn't pass it to Kai Havertz. He doesn't pass it to Odegaard because these are easy options, right? And everyone can actually see it that Kai is going to be a passing option and Odegaard can be a passing option. So what Partey does, he will pass this ball quicker to Gabriel Martinelli, because in that situation, it is a few players that are actually anticipating that it's going to be Martinelli who receives the ball, or he will pass it to Bukayo Saka, and he really passes it on to Bukayo Saka quicker. So because Saka has received the ball a little bit quicker, he has one player to beat, or at times he has a lot of space to drive into, and he doesn't have any player to beat. That is what Amadou Onana is going to be doing for Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, depending on what the manager will ask. So Onana as well has got that ability. When you pick up the ball, son, just release it. And I think this is what Mikel Arteta will actually tell him. When you pick up the ball in this in this area here, probably here, release it quick for Saka, or you can actually switch it up very well for Gabriel Martinelli, right? And the advantage with that is that you can get so many clubs off guard. You can catch so many clubs unprepared as they come out in attack. When you pick up the ball in transition, you quickly switch it up and play it into Martinelli, and you play it into Bukayo Saka. So that would be one role Amadou Onana would actually do well, and it means that Thomas Partey would have found a replacement even before he leaves Arsenal. Now, the other thing I think Amadou Onana is going to give Arsenal, and probably would be an upgrade on Thomas Partey, is aerial ability. Physicality wise, I think I don't know. Look, it's about you. Do you think Partey is physical enough? Do you think he's a very good physical player? Do you think he gives Arsenal that physical level that we need? I think he's physical. Amadou Onana is very physical, but he's one of the best players at winning aerial duels. Now, Declan Rice is good, but if you added another player who can win aerial duels, and then you have Kai Havertz who can also win aerial duels, it could be what I'm thinking, but it also could be what is really staring into your face. We might be building a really physical team of tall, long midfielders that are able to really play the ball very well, because Amadou Onana plays the ball very, very well. Rice does the same, and Kai Havertz does the same as well. But they also are very physical, so you just can't bully them off the ball. They're also very good in the air. And maybe Mikel is just trying to neutralize any element of Arsenal being weak in midfield and also on the defensive as well. So the upgrade would be Amadou Onana is slightly taller than Partey, and he actually uses that tallness to his advantage to win area duels. So at Arsenal, we would have a midfielder that actually wins area duels. But then also, guys, focus on this. Arsenal have literally conceded a goal through set pieces in each of our last maybe 6 games, right? A set piece goal against Fulham, a set piece goal against West Ham, a set piece goal against Liverpool, in the FA Cup, right? So there is a problem there. Do we need taller players? Do we need someone to add to the height we have that is made of Gabriel and Saliba and Declan Rice and Kai Havertz? Probably, because you look at the rest of the team, they're nowhere near competing for area duels. Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, Odegaard, those are not really tall players that are helping you win the ball, right? Especially in the air. So that could be another advantage, and that could be an upgrade on Thomas Partey by Amadou Onana. Now, we will do how Arsenal will set up with Amadou Onana. It's quite a very, very interesting video that I have to really prepare for, because there's so many things there that, even if it's just not a comparison to Thomas Partey, there might be something that he brings to this team that we've either not seen yet, or we don't actually value as Mikel Arteta values. For example, the aerial ability and the physicality that he brings to the team, we already feel we are okay, but maybe Mikel Arteta thinks, I need more. I want more. So we'll be talking about how he will set up later on today. Make sure you're on Cossy Arsenal podcast. Make sure you're on Cossy Arsenal. Subscribe, and we will chat later on.